76k hero damage by Spectre that game.
Yeah. Indeed.
But I still gotta say, MVP for me was Clockwork.
Oh yeah, he made so many amazing plays throughout this entire game.
Yeah, everybody played well. There is no bad player that game. Just I think his movement around the map and his scouting information got his team the space they needed to get to that late game. And even then, he was hitting some pretty big hooks in those later team fights.
Yeah, definitely. I would have to agree with you on that judgment call. That
look at his inventory, dude. 6-slotted Clockwork.
Oh man.
No big deal.
What a game indeed. Valiant effort from the Radiant team, but
hard to ask.
Dude, he had a 9-second cooldown on his hook shot.
Heart and Octarine.
Eggs.
That's hilarious. So tanky.
Well,
it's funny that Shadow Shaman didn't have enough mana to use everything.
Yeah, you
I mean,
got
it makes sense.
regeneration in between there.
I mean,
10 to 15 seconds later, or maybe you tell Underlord to hit you with those greaves in between.
What were you saying, Grab?
I was gonna say it's amazing what a difference the 7.0 change makes, where you have no points and stats anymore. A lot of people underestimate what a big difference that is for the int pool, therefore the mana pool for the hero.
For a lot of heroes, it makes a big difference. Like Juggernaut with the spin. I mean, Tiny with Avalanche combo early on.
Lena's a big one.
Lena, yeah. Storm Spirit.
Void was one of those heroes I heard mentioned.
Yeah,
like
Void.
Super late game, Ags Refresher, Chrono kind of situation. You're like, oh, oops.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I got 20 int, no more.
Yeah, gotta itemize if you want to use those huge mana combos.
So mana boots. Or like not force fuels, but like one and then 1 mana item. Or even like a lens, Something.
Oh.
So, where do you think the game went wrong, or right?
25-minute mark, top push. Radiant squad's got every single item they need to start laying into the Dire. Our Spectre players got 2,500 gold, no relic yet, and they kind of got baited into one of those situations where someone's always in trouble or separated on the map, and someone's always running to their help, and then we saw that fight where 2 people get trapped in the cogs. Venge swaps in too late, so that hero still dies. Then Venge becomes an additional casualty, and it just kind of snowballed into a lot of little skirmishes. I think the Radiant just needed to kind of get their cool together, group up as 5, and just start moving as one cohesive unit again.
Yeah, I'd agree. They needed to start chopping towers. The Clockwork, as you were mentioning before, definitely MVP in my opinion too, because he was creating so much space on the map. Spectre, with that Vanguard, finally got a chance to make use of it and could just basically farm the lane, farm the jungle, farm the lane, farm the jungle, just back and forth in top by herself on that half of the map almost for a good 10-15 minutes. And once she got into that Radiance, then that was it. They pretty much missed their timing on the Radiance side.
Yeah, that was a pretty late Radiance. I don't know if I wouldn't have gone Vanguard against the Magic Burst squad, but I think turned into an Abyssal eventually. So whatever.
Yeah, I think that was a good transition. But I think the reason for the Vanguard is so that she could move into the jungle, because basically
I think you skip the urn then at that point. I don't think you get both. At the very least, you get one or the other.
Yeah, she had to earn early, and then probably realized that
it's a little too much of a delay on the Radiant's timing to get too many small items before. I mean, that's 3k gold. I mean, that's almost your relic.
I'm surprised we didn't see a Diffusal on the Spectre this game.
It would have been nice, but definitely for dealing with the Timber Saw in particular. But maybe even a Heart or Butterfly instead of the Blade Mail. I don't think the Blade Mail it filled the inventory slot, but it didn't actually provide any use.
Also, the bots level 2, again.
He just had a ton of extra gold at the end of the game.
Sure.
He was just dumping.
Did he
Nothing wrong
eat
with
a
that.
moon shard?
There was a point late also where, well, actually, there were a couple of really interesting inflection points I noticed for the Spectre. When there was a fight at the tier 2 bot Dire Tower, and Sniper, I think, assassinated Vengeful Spirit, then like in that engagement, Spectre was actually participating in that fight, and she had 50 gold left to get the recipe, and as soon as Venge dropped, she just snap bought it right out of her inventory and was good to go. But I was like, oh man, why is she fighting 50 gold?
Oh
She's
jeez.
like engaging in this. And then there was a point when I can't remember what item she picked up, but it was pretty late in the game. I saw she had like 800 some odd gold left for buyback, and then I looked 2 minutes later and she's finished the Abyssal Blade and has like twice that much gold in the bank. So at that point it was like, oh boy, this next fight's gonna be a doozy.
Yeah, it's really hard to fight into a Spectre, and they definitely didn't have the right type of lineup. I mean, it was a great pick. Having the Sniper on your side after picking it was very risky, but I mean, it does let you get right on top of that lone druid, and it does really hinder the squishy support squad on the back. It lets you cut the back lines. It lets you hop on the 800 range lone druid. I mean, it was a sound pick regardless of how the laning phases were going to go, and that's another big point I think wasn't mentioned again after the fact. Dire's side won all 3 lanes, which probably shouldn't have happened, and it all came back to that aggro tri lane. I think that aggro tri lane did not succeed. I mean, I think if you just put Lone Druid bottom, he gets his farm, Timber off lane, he does his thing, and your supports roam and support your Invoker middle, you could be looking at a very different mid game there.
All right, guys. Well, let's join in the Hangout chat, get a little bit of insight from the players into our feedback and analysis of it all, and appreciate you guys being here for the cast. And thanks, Grep, for doing some of that stat stuff. It was pretty silly. Enjoyed the laughs.
Yeah, thanks. FYI, that ended up being bugged, and I had to copy paste into the thing. So I don't know if that's a normal thing or if just my client got bugged. So
No idea.
I can tell you more about the tech details later if you want the command. I googled it, found how to use it.
Yeah, I've done it in the past, but like if I'm broadcasting it, I obviously can't like open it up and type the commands at the same time too, unless like I are then like tied to macros with keys or shit like that.
It's a bindable command.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you'd have to type in the text if you're so.
Yeah, but anyway, let me move everybody into the Hangout, and we will giggity go.
No, when you got your Vanguard, I was happy because you went, honestly, we fucked up because you went the wrong build on a Spectre. You got a Vanguard against a Quaswex Invoker.
Which is fine, because the thing is that I couldn't stay in one. I needed somewhere else to go.
I gotta say, I disagree with the Vanguard choice that game.
Yeah.
You just needed to get a Radiance quicker, in my opinion. It's not like it's a bad item, but that's kind of, the urn kind of gives you that, like, sustainability. You participate in a fight, get 2 charges every once in a while, slap yourself for 800 HP regen, and it kind of does the job of a Vanguard for much cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But going Vanguard and not urn would have been fine. I just wouldn't suggest getting both items because it really delayed your Radiance timing.
Yeah. I legitimately lost us the game when I misbought Maelstrom.
Was that Invoker talking right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
I wanted you to buy a Death so bad.
No, the first time I bought Maelstrom was unintentional. I was cycling items through my quick buy in base, trying to figure out what I was going to buy, and I thought I ended it on Octarine, but apparently it ended on Maelstrom. So I just hit the quick buy hotkey I have and brought it on the courier, and instead of having, like, I assumed it was, I'd gone to the secret shop and done it, but no, it was at the secret shop, and so I thought I quick bought the components for the Octarine, but I quick bought the components for the Maelstrom, sent it back to base, picked it up, brought it to me. Next thing I know, I have a Maelstrom. I'm like, wait, what?
Why you were shitting lighting.
Well, great.
You should just given it to the laundry.
That doesn't work.
I just got the Soul Booster, then sold the Maelstrom, finished the Octarine, and then of course I had to rebuy a Maelstrom later when we got Mega Creed. I'm like, oh my god, I literally wasted like 6,000 gold. I would have been learning for about 10 minutes.
You were on
Yeah,
a
energy
shopping spree, yeah?
dude. I was tripping balls because you have like the cookie cutter Exort build on Quaswex, and then you bought a Maelstrom, and then you're like, I didn't want a Maelstrom.
Yeah, no, I always do that build, it's just when I go cross wax, it's so much easier to transition. If you're that far ahead, you can just get away with it.
I like going
Because they're
Titus.
not gonna
I love the fact that you're not useless late game because you went all in with an Orchid and a Phase and Urn, and then you're like, well, I can cast two really good spells and then I'm done.
I mean, I go Bloodthorn sometimes, but I'm always going to rush Aghanims and end up with an Octarine. If I go Bloodthorn, it's with a Maelstrom and some other stuff, and I just go, like, right-click DP. But it's not like I'm, like, 2 spells and I'm out. Like,
yeah, you got all the stuff fast enough to justify it for sure.
Yeah, we got screwed. We got screwed
to transition.
I kept trying to split push with Forge Spirits, and we kept getting 5v4 engaged, and my Boots of Travel were always on cooldown, and I'm like, well, I just have to keep going because we just lost this fight. I can't get up there. I'm like, here's a Sunstrike for 0 damage.
Yeah, I saw that level 1 Sunstrike that hit 2 heroes, and we're like, well, that did 0 damage.
Yeah, that was pure. I dropped it, turned around, started to walk away, and after I took about 2 steps, realized that's not going to kill anybody. I had to turn around and go cold.
Yeah, that's a reflex if you play a lot of Exort, for sure.
Yeah.
Even if you're playing Coswex, you do it. It happens.
Can I comment really briefly on the reason I bought
cookies?
So who's playing Sniper just now, by the way?
I don't think anyone's questioning the blade mail. That was
Me, I was playing Sniper.
Oh yeah, so do you have any comments?
Well, I'm not into these stuff, really. I think
Like
the tornado...
No. I meant more on the lines on like, who's the real Sniper now?
I mean, you did fine in lane at the start.
Yeah.
I completely got myself killed because I don't know how this happened. That my first death, I'm trying to cast Cold Snap the entire time, and I'm just losing vision uphill. And I swear to God, I was up the hill. I don't know why I couldn't cast the.
You would have got that kill if you cold snapped them immediately.
Yeah, I was trying to cast it the entire time, and then 5 minutes later, I haven't invoked a spell because I'm just staying in lane with the same 2. and I look at my spells. and I'm like, Cold Snap's on D, and I was hitting F the entire time. I'm like,
you did a great job CSing in the laning phase, Sniper. By the way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Invoker to add insult to injury. The first auto attack you threw at Sniper when that first blood happened was an uphill miss too.
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah.
RNG.
I'm like, I already do nothing with my right clicks. I need everyone to hit. That's the second Invoker game in the past week where I have gone Quas-Wex, gone massively ahead in the mid game, and then it just goes late and I just can't hold the base.
It's I think you gotta practice the 3-spell combo. You gotta do the tornado.
Here's the honest to God, I'm really pissed with my refresh orb combos that game because the first one I blinked in and got first hit bashed. Which I was the Abyssal Blade was on cooldown, so I wasn't worried about that. But
there's something you should try.
It's just gonna freaking bash.
In the future, try it. If you have Octarine, you can juggle like the 5 main D push spells, but you can drop like an EMP and an Ice Wall, and then you can go for like a Tornado Meatball Blast combo. And if that's not enough, you can pop your refresher, and then you'll have another 2 additional separate combos. And if you can't hit anybody with all that, then fuck, you guys are in trouble.
No,
You should play Viper next time.
My second one, when I bought back and killed the Spectre, was just like kill the Spectre. But when I blinked in, like the big combo I was gonna do was when I blinked in and got first hit bashed. I was gonna do the 6-spell combo with the Meteor, Deafening Blast, Sunstrike, Refresh, Sunstrike, Deafening Blast, drop the Meteor. And no one's pushing after that. Like, if you were there, you're dead. Otherwise, you ran away.
You gotta, I just think you gotta stagger your spells. Just spread them out a little bit more. Like, do a Tornado EMP, drop an Ice Wall down, see what happens.
If you do that combo,
cold snap someone, then you can drop your Meteor and your Blast. And by the time that's all happened, you'll have another Tornado EMP again. And if that's not enough, then you can refresh, and then you can really lengthen the amount of time that you've got a threatening spell in play, instead of just kind of like dropping them all and hoping for the best. Sometimes it gets better.
when I'm trying to like control a team fight, that's definitely the play. But I mean, towards the end, it was just I needed to do the highest DPS combo and just try to get the Spectre as low as possible. And the only way to do that is meteors and double Sunstrike pure damage.
What were your thoughts on the draft, if I can change?
For our side, it was mostly we just thought about what do we really not want to play against, and what are ways to sort of address the enemy team's weaknesses. So our first push was I was really pushing for let's do a drought strat. That didn't really float, especially.
Well, Drow got banned out too.
Yeah, we banned it out, in fact.
Yeah, we kind of threw pick and ban out the window after we had a DC captain.
Yeah.
By the way, we were gonna ban Underlord, but then we didn't.
Yeah.
That was the ban
because we lost the.
But basically, the thing is, once we had sniper plus clockwork, we figured we'll have initiation plus enough damage. And then once you guys picked Lone Druid and Yori had Venge, that was sort of the clue of we need something that's really going to be able to close the gap versus Lone Druid. Even if Clockwork gets a hook on him, even if Sniper's able to, out-sniper Lone Druid, you need somebody out in front. And it really came down to Spectre and Chaos Knight. And I can play Spectre, I can't really play Chaos Knight.
Yeah, Spectre was a great pick.
After the first two bans.
Very greedy, but you guys pulled it off really well.
Yeah, after the first two bans,
it made a lot of sense.
I also think that we really fucked up that aggressive trialing really, really badly. I mean, like.
I don't think it was a misplay. I don't think he fucked up like you.
I was happy when you guys.
Well, it was.
A good idea. We fucked up playing that arrow trialing because we didn't manage to pressure enough. We could have got a lot more kills. We could have, maybe rotated.
Even had you done that though.
Yeah, that's true. I was so happy when you guys left. It was so easy.
I think you guys should have laid standard because you guys ended up. You didn't win any of the lanes, and had you crushed that tri lane, you still would have lost the other two lanes.
No, I lost.
If you had let
but we ended up
Timber go top, Timber will do fine top regardless. Lone Druid will win bottom, and had you guys rotated mid, you would have won 2, maybe 3 lanes instead of just that top lane. Had things gone differently. Your Lone Druid needed XP. He needed to snowball and hit level 10 and 15 a lot faster.
Yeah.
I should have just gone Wexord because I have so much more experience playing that, and it's just I'm good late game with Invoker no matter what build I go, but it's just how much can I control the early game, and I can control the mid game with Quas Wex. But in the early laning phase, there's nothing. I can't Sunstrike across the map to help set up kills or anything. And I just sit there doing nothing except tornadoing whoever I'm laning against half the time. I just hate it. But I mean, it was the right build to go that game. But I honestly think I should have just not done it just because I'm so much better at the other one.
Well, we should have ganked Sniper more because Sniper's the easy gank target in that lane setup.
Well, that's the thing. If I'd gone Wax Exhort, you wouldn't even have needed the gank up because the solo kill potential with that build is so strong on someone who's that immobile.
No, actually, I thought Sniper versus Invoker mid was doing fine. Okay, sure.
That lane went fine. I died once because I screwed up, and then after that it was fine.
But in the end, he was still doing okay, and he didn't. Really
Pretty sure we took the tower first.
Yeah.
Well, there were some really good rotations by the supports into the mid lane too, by smoke rotation on both parties.
Yeah, we had a couple really big miscommunications on those that didn't end up mattering. I went in and tornadoed, and Lion was just sitting there smoked up in the upper left. And so
I remember that. He was up the ramp.
I'm walking away, Lion walks in and lands the stun. I'm like, okay, I guess we're going back in.
Well, yeah, Sniper countered. He came at you with some counter pressure, and that's why Lion was still able to get in there. There's a lot of nice Earth Spike, multi-targeted Earth Spikes that game too. And that TP out, we were like, holy shit.
Thanks, man.
Oh yeah,
His
that was
force staff was barely too slow, and he got clipped by it at the last second, and Underlord walked in, and it was just too late.
I turned on the stream for one moment during that after I killed the courier because I wanted to hear it, and you guys didn't even notice till 2 minutes later.
No, I noticed it. They were just talking so much that I just didn't bring it up.
Yeah. I teleported on top of 3 of them, blinked past, double right clicked the courier, and then ghost walked and ran all the way back to base. They had vision of me the entire time, but ghost walk, you just move so quickly, it doesn't matter. And there were so many instances, like, I don't know if you guys saw the one part where I ghost walked and my pathing was completely screwed while trying to run through the trees. So I had to turn around, go the opposite direction, run past 3 heroes. I'm like, please don't have dust, please don't have dust, please don't have...
We didn't have dust at least.
And you guys, all you guys need to attack cogs. That was the one thing that kept triggering me, is like someone would get trapped in cogs, and you'd like click to get out of it when it came down on its own, but if you hit it twice, you'd be like home free.
There was
it's a big thing a lot of
where
people
I
do.
made the conscious decision not to do it because I knew I was dead no matter what, so I just tried to turn and right-click somebody else.
Well, that time that he caught you by the tier 1 tower, you ghost walked and realized, oh shit, I'm not gonna make it, and then you popped out of it, and then the cogs came down and you almost got out still. Had you hit the cogs first, dropped an ice wall, or saved ghost walk for after, I think you would have got out for sure.
I would have.
But I know what it's like, you panic and your QQ
just goes off immediately.
Just gonna ask a question. Has Sky been talking here at all?
In and out. In and out. It's been a lot of Mafia Cheese being a loud man.
My proudest moment was when I got hooked.
I think he's eating.
And then turned.
No, I ate a couple french fries earlier on.
My best moment was when I got caught and went, I'm dead, turned and killed a sniper using an ice wall and a 0 damage sunscreen.
That mid-fight, like, between the tier 1 and tier 2 area?
When I got caught by 3 people, I'm like, this is it for me. Turn around, drop an ice wall, sunstrike, and doesn't do anything. I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna get away. And then the ice wall just takes him out, and I'm like, thank God.
Yeah,
It's funny, because that's actually Invoker's highest damage spell.
I was
This ice wall
actually
with all the
surprised
ticks
that I died from the wall, from the ice wall. I didn't expect it.
It does a really surprising amount of damage.
Yeah.
If you max Quas out early. It technically speaking, if you're stuck in it the entire duration, it is the highest damage spell in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that used to be a thing people used for a little while, where they do that whole like Quasflex, Ghost Walk, find a bitch, and then it would be Earn Charge, Ice Wall, Cold Snap, and it's like you're dead. It
Oh god, it's disgusting.
You're dead.
Yeah.
But
there's still no way to get out of that. It's just so greedy to do. Ice Wall? Of a
Yeah,
kid,
it's not.
yes it is.
Even with Ags, no, with Ags it goes to 624.
And the problem is you needed to get like 2 kills to justify
it used to
that
be when you got
playstyle.
extra instances.
And if you died once, like you were just ruined.
And the
Yeah,
DPS, the DPS comes on from Exort, not Quas, too. So
guys, I think we should now hear the feedback from Sky. Sky, what's your like original? Let him speak for a moment. I think he should speak for a moment.
Man. Well, I mean, the way that I look at the game, it was so goddamn long at this point that I really don't remember some of like the major things that I wanted to point out from like the early to mid game phases of them.
Okay, guys,
but
you wanna go watch a replay
there was a lot of good rotations coming out from Rito and Masaki in the early to mid game phase, and some interesting smoke ganks also, and with how people were rotating around consistently across the map, I think they were doing a pretty effective
Did you guys see me? I was hoping
movement of
you
their
were watching
time.
me at the early. Oh wait.
Where?
Never mind. I didn't hear you were talking. I have headphones.
The
it's okay.
supports were killing it.
Yeah, I mean the supports were making lots of moves happen on both teams, and they were being very proactive with their TPs and stuff, and that was really good. But I think the aggressive tri lane for the Radiant was kind of awkward.
I was very slow on the reaction for a lot of stuff.
Shadow Shaman.
Oh yeah, dude, that we commented heavily on that play where you forced your buddy out and then got the return kill because of it. Or like, Force Staff instead of Blink Dagger was a really good choice. It worked out greatly.
I was so close to going. I decided to get the Aghanims, but I was honestly like steps away from just going Maelstrom Vanguard and just trying to group and push with the team fight
Who is that breathing on his
with
mic?
I'm not
the
sure.
Mjolnir thing, but I decided not to do it. I think that was the right call, but I still.
Yeah.
It's so. But it's funny because this literally is semi different situation, but same end result. When my last Invoker game, I think I was 10-0 on Colossal X, and the enemy Necrophos AFKs, and so we fail one high ground push, and 2 of my teammates quit, and from there it's just all downhill. They have a Chaos Knight and all this other shit, and then the Necrophos comes back.
And somebody uses their mic on your team and you hear a lot of talking in the background like they're at a LAN cafe and you're like, fuck.
No, what did happen was the Witch Doctor on our team at AFK'd, and he already had his Aghanim Scepter, and our Legion Commanders. And I'm like, seriously, I had already microed the Witch Doctor in one team fight, and the Aghanims had gotten 3, Death Lord had gotten 3 people. So of course, immediately following that, Legion sells it, because, I mean, it's not...
All right.
If there's one thing to take away from that game, I'd say just focus on the objective. Focus on what scenario your team will win in and what scenario your team will lose in.
Yeah, on that topic, I was actually, I don't know. I was constantly asking my team quite a few times whether it was a good idea to 5-minute push, but I don't think we actually got around to doing it. And
Yeah,
the few
you
times
guys.
we did-
Yeah, you guys grouped up once, right?
Yeah, no, I was not only that one time. I was asking a lot, but then, like, I guess we just didn't agree. Like, I'm not very sure, but we just didn't manage to group up and just push a lot of times where I.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. We should have grouped more. But it's like one of those things where like everyone, you know, like the low through it's like, oh, I'm 500 gold away from my item, and then like the Invoker's like, let me finish this way. And like, no, not to blame anyone, but like that's just what, or like even me, then I'm like, oh, let me put this ward over here, right? And it's like everyone
It's actually more. I have a compulsive need to keep my mid tower up as long as possible, so I kept TPing back to defend it when the.
I can
And
definitely
someone just had to
understand
be
that.
like, yo, everybody stop what you're doing. We're gonna attack tier 2s because it's 25 minutes. You guys finished a lot of big items. Like, Lone Druid had both his items up, Invoker had just finished, like, Axe. Like, that was your time to go. You guys could have done some real damage.
Yeah, like, we got to the late game, and I'm just thinking in my head the entire time, there's no reason we should lose this game, but we just completely lost it. Like, we had everything, and then we just didn't do enough.
I think the biggest thing was once you had taken all our tier 2s, you guys never took shrines, so we had really.
We didn't get
good
all your
access.
tier 2s.
No, we didn't actually have time to go for the shrines. Actually, like the moment we got all your tier 2s, we just couldn't get out of our base anymore. Like after that.
You understand? We couldn't. We
couldn't get out of our base.
Tier 2s. When you guys took double racks, there were 2 tier 2s you still had up. I teleported in and backdoored one of them. The other one, if it died way later. We couldn't even go for the.
So it's
Okay,
like
so
it
I do remember a moment in the game when I was looking at the map and I saw all our tier 2s were gone, shrines were still up, and you guys still had at least one set of racks.
A creep wave must have gotten the last tower in the way you hadn't taken racks in yet or something.
So it was the mentality.
We never got out of it.
Because if you think about it, it was the me mentality and not the team mentality. Everyone's like, I need to finish this. I'm about to do that. I'm going to go do this. But had you guys all said, as a group, yeah, let's do this together, the resulting gold coming in from the towers and any team fights you likely would have won would have accomplished all your individual goals by going as a team instead.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, but we just didn't manage to like group up as a team. I think it's just because of our personalities just not mixing together, I guess.
Well, I mean, someone needs to be able to make the decisive action. You know, you get a particular item or power spike on one hero that allows the whole team to really be able to make that movement together, and it didn't seem like that was really there.
Yeah, it really should have been. Once I got
sense of direction.
Once I got eggs, we should have just shoved down mid or top lane.
I was trying to actually do that, but I wasn't confident enough, and I didn't make. I didn't like. How do I say this? Yeah, I didn't actually make any decisive actions. I just like suggested a lot of stuff.
There were a couple calls made, but there were a couple calls that like just came like moments too late. Like we should group up and push this lane. Like 3 seconds after I used my boots of travel to go to the opposite side of the map. Like literally that long after. It happened like 5 times. And we're like, okay, well now we have to wait.
I know. I would say we really lack decisive anything. I mean, we're going in for smoke ganks and smoke breaks, and nothing happens.
Well, that's a good learning experience too, is when that situation arises where you're like, shit, okay, we gotta wait 40 seconds for his spots to cool down. The play is to get into a safe position on the map where you don't die. But while that was happening, a lot of people were still trying to go about the objective still, getting caught out in disadvantageous fights like 3v5s or, well, I'm gonna go ward by myself, and then you get picked because, you know, Clockwork's roaming and has rocket vision, which is, you know, Spectre press star and they've seen the entire map now. You just have to be really, really careful not to die before that happens, because it led to this 10-minute chain sequence of events where everybody just kept scurrying over to fights over and over, just barely not getting there in time. And all of a sudden you're looking at the clock and it's been 10 minutes and you're like, oops. So yeah, just be mindful of that. Just
honestly don't even
back off and not die and not farm or not do anything productive, as long as you're alive still.
Yeah, I don't even think that 10-minute fight, which I know what you're talking about, hurt us that much, because I'm pretty sure Spectre died like twice during that. Like, there was no progress.
Well, Spectre got a Radiant set during
after
that
the fight
time,
in the bot lane.
and yeah, and a Manta.
Yeah, that was after the fight in the bot lane, but like the 10-minute thing up top was just nobody going anywhere and everyone just dying and nobody getting any gold.
Well, Spectre absolutely, from the 25 to 35 minute mark, spiked in that.
I'm talking about like the 15 or 17 to 25 right before that, where we were all just top lane and everyone's just like throwing bodies everywhere.
I still think that favored the Dire side because
we're wasting
tier 2s.
Honestly, the scariest moment of that game for me was the freaking bot lane where the hook shot missed me by like 2 inches.
Thanatos is subscribed. Holy shit.
I ghost walked right up in the trees and I'm like blink TP, blink TP, blink TP, and I just hit TP and I'm like, well, okay, hope he doesn't.
Oh, you're talking about when you didn't blink and you thought you didn't blink. You were like, did he just outplay him by not playing?
I was like, I'm out, and then like after I started the TP, I'm like, oh shit, I could have blinked, and then he hooks away. I'm like, well, thank God I didn't.
It was a perfectly placed hook shot had you blinked.
All right, guys. Well, I need to wrap this stream up because we're at 1:15.
Best out of 3. Hold on. Best out of 3.
All right. Well, we're at 1:15, and this stream was supposed to end at around 11:30. So I think this was a little generous.
This is the grand 18.
1 a.m. What time is it actually for you now?
It's 1:15 a.m. for me.
You're denying me my rematch?
Well, I mean, you guys are more than welcome to do another game on your own accord, because I was happy that I was able to connect you all with a really great audience and a venue for you guys to be able to do that.
How about this? This time, Tuesday next week, all 10 of us have to come back, and the last game of the night again is us, because I want a freaking rematch.
Yeah.
You need to try to bend Clockwork first next time.
Actually, I don't know if I want that, because I have a feeling Invoker's not going to get the last pick. Again. It's really funny, because they were like, we should pick Invoker, like, 3rd or 4th, and I'm like, I kind of want to just last pick it. And then, of course, I'm telling them, like, alright, ban this, I'm like, ban Nyx. And then, as I'm doing this, I'm like, I'm making it so insanely obvious we're last picking Invoker.
Guys.
Alright, I'm going to go to my channel by myself and do my own sign out, because... yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Okay, guys. Well, long night, long day. Really appreciate you all being here with me. This went much later than I was anticipating on doing, but it was still great to have you all here. Didn't really get to do the type of post-game analysis that I would have wanted to really do, but it was still... still fun. It was a lot of conflicting ideas, and I don't think we really had any concise information really in the end to kind of make it a good focal point for people to really grow from. But there were some really good discussions there, and I know that we'll have some more fun stories to tell going into the future.